Hello everyone and welcome to my channel where I share how I apply entry point philosophy in my life. Today I want to tell you how I apply entry point philosophy to water fasting, and this is my eighth water fast and this is the 49th day. Now last week the last stream I did was on the 40th day, which was Friday, and I have to say I felt great. But during the weekend, I felt a little bit tired. So I was really curious how the week is going to go because I had a business trip, and the business trip was actually quite physical because it was a 3 day trip, and we had to build this I don't want to say booth, but was a it's something that we have to with three people. It takes us about 2 to 3 hours. You have to lay down carpets. You have to make this metal construction, which consists about 50 parts. You have to screw them all. You have to, lift your hands up and down. It takes forever. Then you have to put on these wooden or these no, not wooden, these plastic boards. You have to carry them with two people, so you have to keep lifting your arms up and down. And I was just shocked that I was able to do all of it. So you have to construct it, then you have to be on your feet for 2 days, and then you have to deconstruct the whole thing. And I managed all of it. During this week, I had a lot of energy. So every night I go to bed at midnight. I wake up at 5 in the morning, and I wake up by myself. I don't need any alarms, and I have a lot of energy. Now this is this at first it's like, yeah, so yes, a lot of energy, but this gives me an extra, let's say, 6 hours per day. Now when you look at a month that has 30 days, that's actually extra 180 hours, which which is about 6 7 extra days per month. Now, to say it exactly, it's not just 7 days, because usually during the day, 1/3 of the day you sleep. Maybe even you have to go to work, so during the work you work. So the extra 180 hours, that's pure time that you have for yourself, that you can work on your things. So it's not extra 7 days, because those 7 days don't include sleep and don't include work. So it's like you have extra 2 weeks per month. Now, if you have an extra 2 weeks per month, imagine how much stuff you can do and how it pushes you forward. And I see this exactly in my life, that I am way more productive. And during the fasting, I create and do so many things that I can live off them once the water fast stops. So this is amazing. Second thing I want to tell you, that as I said, this is my eighth water fast, and I can see that as you do the fast, and I do them, I do them now twice a year, I would say. I can feel that every fast is different, and I can now see various stages of development. So I know that the first water fast, usually people start water fasting for two reasons. Number one reason, which is for me a stupid reason, and I never did it for this reason. So the first reason why people do it is that they want to lose weight. Now, yeah, you lose weight when you do fasting, but of course, if you don't change your eating habits, then the weight comes back, and it doesn't do you any good. But the first, I would say, the first one, two, what the first, 1 2 3 water fast, or let's say the first stage, because I can imagine that for everyone it's different. So the first stage is that you're just concerned about food. And when I say food, I don't mean that you want to eat, but mentally you're like, oh my God, I'll do water fasting, and it's so hard to do, because how do you, like, resist eating food? And how do you feel physically? It's all physical, just like The first water fast is just about, like how fighting the urge to eat, or fighting the, the physical aspects of it. And that's the first stage. But the second stage is, and I think for me, it was the started from the second and third water fast. You don't care about the food and the physical stuff. And what you look forward to and start noticing that your brain, your mind, your consciousness starts working differently. Now, there's a simple scientific explanation for it. And if you check my video about cancer, I think you'll about cancer, you'll find it in the list of my videos. There's a big cancer cell on the picture. So I think it's a pink color. So when you play this video, in this video, I show brain scans that are available on the internet, how your brain looks, what your brain looks like when you are in super ketosis. Because when you eat carbs, when you eat sugar, your body and your brain is fueled by glucoses, and when glucose is not able to cover your whole brain with all the nutrients, that's exactly where the sources of stroke, Alzheimer, and epilepsy develop. So you have centers in your brain which, when you eat glucoses or carbs, you don't actually get all the you don't get nutrients to these areas. But in the scans, you can see that when you are in super ketosis, that ketones are actually able to flood the whole brain. So obviously, if your brain in your standard diet works, let's say at, I'm going to make it up, 80%, then if your brain works at 100%, well, obviously your brain is more effective, and that must show somewhere. So that this, I would say, is the second stage, that you are amazed how your mind and your brain works. And then a third stage comes, and this is the stage that I'm experiencing now, and it started in the end of my fifth water fast. And that's that you get into something I call a flow. And so now when I do these fasts, and I imagine it, or I remember it, when I started this water fast, I was completely dead. I was glad I woke up at 7 in the morning, and I was glad that I came home, and I went to bed at 8 p.m. completely dead, and I didn't feel good. And as you know, I have a lot of things that I wanna finish. One of them is, again, the experiment that I'm running behind that brown door, which I want to publish. And I've also this month, and a lot of projects at work that I had to finish off. They were big ones, and I can confess that when I started this water fast, I was like, oh my God, I have no idea how I'm going to finish off all these things. And now I can tell you that that's exactly why you do these water fasts now. I don't do them because I'm trying to prove to myself that I can resist eating food. Uh, I don't do them now for a health reason, even though when you do water fasting, as I explained in the cancer video, and also in the video I did in check about diabetes, that of course, it helps you from a health point of view. But that's not why I do water fasting now. I don't even do the water fast because my brain works better. I take it now for granted, but I do these fasts because I have the extra hours and extra energy to do things that normally I would have no energy and time to do. And I always remember a famous quote, which I heard a long time ago, but I have no way, I don't remember who said it. But I would, if I had to bet, I think J. Paul Getty said it in the 20s, 30s, that he said, it's not important what you do from 9 to 5, but what makes your life is what you do from 5 to 9. And this is now why I do these water fasts, and it's all thanks to entry point philosophy that I apply during these fasts. I do these various mental exercises, and it just, I don't know. I feel like Super George in this mode because I get so many things done, and it shows in my life. It shows in the relationships I have. It shows in the opportunities that come up. Which well, if in the beginning of this fast, I would tell myself, "Look, George, this is going to happen. This is going to happen." I would say, "This is unbelievable. Like this is what's happening right now. I will be probably let as things develop, I will probably publish more of the things that are happening in my life. And this is I would say the third stage. And I think this is something that when you do the first water fast, this will not happen because again, it's a bit of a shock in your life. But it's the same thing as with anything. It's like when I play the guitar and I start to do the first exercises on the guitar. At first, it's like so hard. You have to think about every finger, and it's really complicated. But eventually, as you do them more and more, you get so used to them that it becomes second nature, and you don't have to think about it at all. And I think it's the same thing with fasting. As the body gets used to it, you know, every time you do the fasting, it completely transfers the way the water fast works. So that's what I wanted to tell you. Also, another thing I want to say that you know a lot of people write me and I do consultations, and I find that what we always discuss is health issues because people call me and ask me about because they have health problems. A lot of the health, I would even say most of the health problems come from the diet that we eat. Because again, and it's really hard to see through it because when you look around you, everyone eats 6 times a day. When you look at your parents, yeah, they eat 6 times a day, and you grew up in a family and a culture that eats 6 times a day. Your grandparents probably ate 6 times a day. Now, the carbohydrate diet, it's great when there's a scare when there's no food, because carbohydrate diet is a cheap diet. You can eat a little bit of rice and you get more energy than if you buy expensive meat. So it's really hard to see through the fact that the carbohydrate diet that we eat 6 times a day takes a huge toll on on the body, because to metabolize carbohydrates, it's much harder for the body than for ketones. And the explanation is very easy. From the evolutionary point of view, we started eating carbohydrates about 10,000 years ago when we invented or discovered farming, because ants have been farming for a long time. And again, this was still fine for the past, let's say 11, 12,000 years, because there were so many people that we couldn't keep up with making the food. So even though we had carbohydrate diet, people were not overeating. But after the Second World War, we got to a point where food was everywhere, so we got used to eating 6 times a day. You wake up, you have a coffee or tea, you put sugar in it, you have bread, you have sweet stuff during the day, you eat and drink more carbohydrates. For lunch, you have carbohydrates, and this takes a huge toll, and this transfers into various low energy things. You have diabetes, you have cancer. So this is something that I consult. So if you find it interesting what I'm saying, feel free to write me or to message me, WhatsApp me. All the contacts you'll find in the description to this video. And lastly, I would like to thank all of you for supporting me. I would like to also ask you, feel free to share this message, because again, this is a gift that all of us have. It's free, and when you imagine how many health issues all of us have, and these transfer into of course then mental issues, energy issues, motivational issues. People have depression. So this is something, this is a message, what I'm trying to say here, that it's worth sharing. So please share it. Uh, Again, that's why I do this channel. And every time, there's a one subscriber, a new one, it always pumps me up, because I feel that what I'm trying to say here is something that people feel that might make sense. So again, thank you for your support. Feel free to contact me. And as a last note, when people ask me, George, how long are you going to do this? Well, right now it's the 49th day, and if I'm going to feel this way, uh, I think I'll do. I was planning, or not planning, but I thought that I would be doing 70 days. But if on the 70th day I feel the way I feel right now, then I'll probably continue. So I'm really curious to know, curious to see how long it's going to take, how long it's going to be. If it's going to be 60 days, 70 days, 80 days, I have no idea. But I will keep you informed. So again, thank you for your support, and talk to you soon. Bye bye.